Okay, thanks for joining us this evening, everybody up there and down here. And the structure of today, I've been getting all the information together on each of the 21 taras, which is quite a job. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but we're going to be studying those, yeah? So last week, for anybody who wasn't here, I'm not going to go into it in depth, but we did look at the practice generally, the refuge prayer, the four immeasurables, the visualization, 7-limb prayer, and the mantra. So really what I want to do is to skip those for the moment and go straight to the 21 taras, teach on those, and then definitely leave ourselves plenty of time to go back and do the whole puja straight through, which I think would be very nice. And I thought it would be lovely, and I hope to remember to say this at the beginning of the puja, that we dedicate it to all those who have been affected by the Syria and Turkey earthquake. Because Tara Puja is aimed at rescue, immediate, instantaneous. And if we create that energy amongst us, we can feel from our very privileged and comfortable homes that we can help and think and pray in some way. So now I don't know how used you are individually or as a group to reciting the 21 phrases to the 21 taras, but it would be great if I know online you'll be saying it silent, to yourself, but if in the room we could create a bit of energy and say it out clearly. And when we come to the 21 phrases, and we do it twice in English and once in Tibetan, have a jolly good go at raising some energy, yeah? Now, it's very hard to hear me even. How's that, Carol? Is that better?
That's better, thank you.
Oh, okay, so I just need that quite near my mouth, don't I? Okay. Yes, so we'll do that. Now, what happened last week, I noticed, is that when I was moving the PowerPoint, it skipped. Now, it's very difficult when you're doing so many praises to know exactly what you did before and what comes next, because they roll on. And I do it regularly, but still I don't know it off by heart. So I'll try to make sure, but if it does sort of skip or we seem to be repeating something, just go with it, yeah? And we'll just keep that energy going. And we'll just assume that if we're saying one of the Tara praises more than 3 times, that we're meant to. But I'll do my best, okay? I know there are prayers to the 21 taras. If you want something physical, you're very welcome to do that. But for the moment, we'll just use the PowerPoint, which is very pretty. Okay. So you're seeing the biggish image. Okay. Now I'm going to bring the graph up soon, or ask Michael to. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. But basically, what we're looking at here is Chittamani Tara. Now, Chitta is wisdom and Mani is method. So it's wisdom and compassion Tara. So we've done the teachings about her. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take each of these taras and explain what their purpose is. Because when we come to do the praises, what we're doing is there is a praise to each one of these taras. So could you bring the graph up and then we can show, because what you will get is, hang on a minute, we will get the slide. I'll explain that, and then we'll come to this slide. So you won't get the image. So what you need to do is kind of imagine what that is, because we don't have a painting of Tara here, do we? Yeah. So here we go. So this is uploaded online on the website. So if you want to check this later, that's great. But the first Tara is right beneath Chittamani Tara. Oh, there's a lovely little green arrow. Oh, and then, anyway, never mind. And then it goes round anti-clockwise. So this is the way we're going, all the way around there. And then we come down and notice that 15 goes to 16, and then there's a row at the bottom. Now, this is the general way we show the 21 Taras, but they can also be shown in clusters and a row at the bottom, but it's all for visualization purposes. Now, I'm going to be explaining each one in detail so that when we come to recite them, we've got some idea, we've got a better idea of what they're about, yeah? But what is also being uploaded is the other document, please, Michael, which you can just see the beginnings of there. If you can take the graph down and put the written, oh. Yeah, it's a different document, Michael. That's it. You will get one of those. Now, this is actually from Tara's colouring book. So there is a lovely, quite old now, 1980, Andy Weber, who did this book, which explains all the Taras and also shows how to draw them all, yeah, which he uses in his iconography. So there's some very nice brief descriptions of them all there. Mine is going to be a little bit more detailed, but if you want to access that, that's quite simple, yeah? So you'll have the graph, you'll have that, and then you need your image of the 21 Taras, and you can kind of get more familiar with the practice. That's great. Thank you, Michael. We'll leave those alone now, just so that you know kind of what we're doing. And I'll share the screen again. I thought it would stay up there. Advanced. Share. Yes. Okay. So just to backtrack for those of you, we're not doing the sadhana yet. We're going to go through each of the Taras, but just to backtrack,
again, you need to be in slide.
Sorry. I know it happens sometimes. There it is, and there's advanced, and there's a portion of the screen, and there's share. I have to do it twice every time. Just testing me. Okay, so let's put that up there. I'm going to make you all small now, so I can do this. Okay, so that was our introduction. We just, which you kind of had now anyway. And we always start with refuge and generating bodhicitta. And the four immeasurables, those of you who've been following my course so far will start to be getting, or if you didn't have already, a stronger relationship to the meaning of those, because they're generating love, compassion, empathic joy, and equanimity. And then we go on to the introduction to the mantra and the visualization, yeah? And what we say it for: increase life energy, our creative energy, our wisdom, to eliminate disease. We can focus on a particular aspect of what we're experiencing at the moment. And then we went into the details of what each part of the mantra means. Om, which is always the purified three doors. Tara gives protection from samsara. Tara frees us from the outer and inner fears, and they all kind of relate to externals like drowning is doubt, fire is lust, thieves, envy, prison, delusion. It goes on like that. I'm not going into, we did all that last week. And then Ture, she will bestow on us what we wish, and so be it. We've asked and it will happen. And then we do the visualization, and there's the description of Tara. So then we went on to the 7-limb prayer, which is always the preliminary to where we make offerings and we confess and we request, etc., etc. And then we start the praises to the 21 Taras. So here we go. So this is what, when we say these prayers, I think, for me personally, I'm speaking personally now, when we recite a puja, something like the 21 Taras, it's not too long, we can really get into it, we can visualize, we can say the mantra, and it's quite an intuitive experience, yeah, which is great. But I certainly know that when I began to do it, that I didn't really know what I was doing and how to relate to the practice. And also what we've got is we've got heavily ornate Tibetan structures, yeah? There's a lot of, description and words which we go, that sounds a bit weird. It's kind of ornate poetry, and we may not, some people do, if they've got some strong karmic link with Tibet, they'll have this sort of feeling of, it sounds beautiful. And others will go, oh, it's a bit weird. So we're dealing with a translation here. So it's always good to go, well, I'm going to go with it. I've got this wonderful Tibetan link and lineage. And if I know what it means, then I can relate to the meaning of it when I'm making praises to that Tara and visualizing them. Because obviously what is best is to have an image of the 21 Taras in front of you. But always the problem is, unless you've got a massive tanka, I mean, Andy did a massive one, which would have gone right up that wall, then you could see them all, yeah? But generally we have a smaller image, and so you have to peer to see what they're holding in which hand and what color they are, and etc., etc. So it's better to get the feel for them, I think. And if we know what they mean, then that's helpful. Okay, so Om Jetsuma Padmadrama Lachatselo, Om, I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Let's just go this. Om is the unification of her Vajra body, speech, and mind. She is our object of veneration. J is a prefix for a high rank lady. So, and she's seen as the mother of conquerors of delusions and has led countless sentient beings into Buddhahood. So she deserves that prefix. Summa means she's pure in training, in the Bodhisattva practices of the 6 perfections, and pure of vows. And it denotes one who is a scholar and practices purely. Padma means superior, and Tara is free from the extremes of existence and peace. So she's not in samsara, but she's not in the peace of nirvana, because even in meditative equipoise, to practice that, on cessation, she still is in the process of benefiting beings. She never stops, yeah? So she's not in peace. Dolma is Tibetan for Tara. You will often see it as Dolma. D-O-L-M-A is a very common spelling for Tara. Tara's Sanskrit and means liberator, and she received the name because she rescues. And Chatselo, paying homage with body, speech, and mind. So let's just clarify before we go on to all these different Taras, that relating to them, we need to relate to them if we're really going to benefit from what they mean as unified with Chara and separate. Yeah? So in the same way that all the deity practices that we do are manifestations of an aspect of Buddha's enlightened mind, they are manifestations of Tara's enlightened mind. Yeah. But at the same time, they have their own mantras, they do their own thing. But I like to think of it, and it is also described as this, that just in the same way that a mother will take on different roles in order to protect her children. She will manifest as a lioness if she's going into the school to sort out the teachers who are messing with her kids. Yeah, that's one aspect. And then there's another aspect where she will be nurturing and loving, soothing, calming. So in the very same way, Tara manifests in every possible way you can imagine to protect beings in samsara. Okay? So they all have different colors. They have different mudras, how they're holding the flower, the lotus. They've all got a vase in their right hand with a nectar, which is specific for, as you'll see, and they have different expressions. There's either peaceful, or very peaceful, semi-wrathful, bit of a frown, and wrathful, yeah? So depending on the energy, just as I've described as the mother, that we need in order to, subdue or defeat a situation or beings. So most have a peaceful demeanor to lead us out of suffering and danger, whilst others have, this wrathful manner to avert obstacles and delusions. The very wrathful ones usually are to subdue harmful opposition to the Dharma. Okay, let's go. So this is Tara, the swift heroine. So I'm not going to read that. You're going to read that while I'm describing what it actually means. So the praise is open with revering her life story. She's red. Remember, she'll be right below Tara. Yeah, right below her. And then we're going round anti-clockwise. She's seated on a lotus, a moon disk. Her right hand grants refuge, and she holds a red vase of nectar, granting all power and attainments to any who pray to her. Her left hand is in the mudra of bestowing realizations, assuring beings that they no longer need fear the dangers of samsara. She's called swift because her enlightened activity works especially quickly and without delay. And she's heroic because she's conquered the 4 maras, yeah? The mental afflictions of greed, hatred and delusions, death and the contaminated aggregates, sensual desire and temptation. She possesses the eye of transcendent wisdom, enabling her to see the whole of existence in a single instant. And the last 2 lines refer to her miraculous birth from the tear of Avalokiteshvara. It would be great if we all had an image. Anyway, there you go. 2, the second one, Tara white as autumn moon, extremely peaceful, radiantly white, like 1,000 stars. In her right hand, she holds a white vase, whose nectar cures all sickness and ill spirits and infectious diseases. Her left hand indicates the knowledge of the 3 times, which is represented by the bud and the open flower. She's seen it all, and she can help to relieve all the causes of suffering. She's also known as Saraswati in the Hindu tradition, the consort of Manjushri, as she bestows perfect wisdom. She's revered as the goddess of learning and the arts in Hinduism. So there you go. 2 aspects of her there. This is 3, golden Tara, giver of supreme virtue. She cradles a golden vase in the palm of her right hand. The nectar increases our lifespan, power, wealth, and merits. Between her left thumb and right finger, she holds a lotus, and the 2 buds bloom by her ear, showing that she perceives and understands everything in the 10 cardinal directions. So we know what that is, don't we? We know we've got north, south, west, east, we've got above and below, and then we've got all there, okay? So all, everywhere. The last 2 lines indicate the 6 perfections. Yeah? Generosity, patience, ethics, choice, effort, concentration, and wisdom. And the verse indicates that if we want to achieve the enlightenment of Tara, we need to practice the 6 perfections for many lifetimes and pay her the reverence she deserves. How are we doing? Are we overwhelmed by Taras? Oh dear. So here we've got the 4th one, Ushnisha, victorious golden Tara. She's the Tara of longevity, eliminating the danger of untimely death. She's on the 4th lotus, deep yellow orange. In her right hand, she holds the vase containing the nectar to increase long life. Since Tara is the mother of all conquerors, she protrudes from the crown of all bodies at her heads. So anytime you have a look at a Manjushri or whatever, she'll be protruding out the top. She's conquered infinite obscurations, such as all the shortcomings of this life and all afflictions to omniscience. I mean, what we're starting to understand, we're kind of halfway through, oh no, we're not halfway through, is that there's a lot of doubling up, you know, and you've just got to kind of, but the point is, I think, that if you just think, oh, well, she does everything, you know, she cures everything, and she just does everything, which is kind of Western approach. This is Tara, she's brilliant. She's God, you know, I mean, really, God, omniscient, sees everything, knows everything, love for everything. That's kind of one, you know, single deity. But that's not how we do things. We need to, in Tibetan Buddhism, we really need to saturate the mind with and recognize the incredible ways, the vast ways in which one can suffer in samsara. I think this is the point. That you go through and you go, wow, tummy disease, and this, and poisons and spirits, and untimely death. Yeah, I could leave tonight, go out in the car. So it's constantly putting into focus that samsara is massively uncertain, and there's so many different realms in which we can be reborn, and Tara is there in all the realms to help. So just to back that up, to give you a bit more inspiration to go forward. So Tara proclaiming Hum. So she's a dark shade of orange. The nectar vase overwhelms others. So those who drink her nectar have no chance but to follow her. She's like a magnet. Yeah. And I like to think of this as, you know, you often do see that people are attracted to long-term practitioners, venerables and lamas. It's almost like they come in off the street. They know there's somebody in there that they want to see. We talked about Rabina, didn't we? Magnetizing somebody into the center. Yeah. And I think that's what we're talking about here. It's like their very sense of purity and the fact that they can help, and there's so much love there, kind of draws people to them. So prayers and devotion to this Tara can function as a magnet that attracts men and women. So it's not a sexual magnet. Okay, that's the point. It's the mother. The sounds of Tutara and Hum radiate throughout the 7 realms of existence. So we've got hell, hungry ghosts, animal, human. We've got the gods who are jealous and the other gods that aren't so jealous, and gods of the formless realms as well. So, you know, all direction and desire, direction, and space, she can help them all. Right, 6th, Tara, victorious over the 3 worlds. Slightly wrathful, dark red, subdues spirits and disperses those who cannot be overcome. Disperses them. Holds nectar that subdues demons and harmful spirits. See, we're getting into realms that we find difficult to imagine. Because I always think, well, what about the poor demons and harmful spirits? They're still sentient, aren't they? They're overcome, you know, in all the prayers you hear that they're subdued and, you know. So hopefully they're subdued, but they're still felt, even demons and harmful spirits. And all the worldly gods, such as Brahma, we were talking about the realms of Brahma in the 4 immeasurables. You know, if you practice the 4 immeasurables without the bodhicitta motivation, then you end up in the incredible Brahma realms, which are incredible, but they're still not where we need to be. So also the spirit realms, yakshas, if you ever wanted to know, maybe some of you do, are male nature spirits. They can be good or bad. Gandharvas are musical beings with half animal bodies. So it takes us into Lord of the Rings, really, doesn't it? It's extraordinary. You know, anything that you can imagine kind of exists. I think that's really the idea of it. If you can imagine it, then somewhere it's existing. So watch out what you imagine. So here we go to the 7th one. How are we doing with this? There's 21. I have a feeling that we should do half and then do the puja, because it's a bit overwhelming, and then we'll do the other half next week. Does that feel good? Yeah, okay. So then you feel more patient. And yeah, please do pass it. Oh, you can get it. Can you tell people where to get it from then? Okay, if anybody wants to have a look, it will help. I do agree that having the image would be greatly helpful. So here's the 7th one, Tara destroying spells. So she needs a very wrathful expression for this, and she's dark blue-black. She destroys with trad and pei all evil spells, sorcery, and black magic. And sometimes she's shown surrounded by a garland of fiery transcendental wisdom. And the vase, the nectar, rescues beings afflicted by fears and dangers. The right leg drawn up, signifying realization of emptiness, and the left leg slightly extended, indicating compassion. And with both feet, she tramples on the 3 worlds, below, above, and in the middle. Okay, 7th. Now the 7th, if I go back, I'm just going to go back to the original one. So if you see these lovely little images, right below green Tara is the 1st, then anti-clockwise 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the blue-black one, as we're looking at Tara, it's on the top right-hand corner. So we're going to do 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what we're going to do. So these are who we're looking at. So we're looking at the colors. Of course, if you're a serious practitioner, you will be visualizing all of them. Just saying. Oh, where was I? We've done Ushnisha. We've done that one. Dark red, dark blue, black. That's where we were. So we're going on to 8. So Tara destroying demons and enemies. Dark red. Nectar destroys all foes. We've heard that before. Wrathful expression destroys our mental afflictions, delusions, the destructive emotions. And she removes all that obstructs the attainment of omniscient consciousness. She's quite simple. I love the title of this one. They have slightly different titles depending on the translator. This is the 9th one, Tara of the Rosewood Forest. Sounds a bit Robin Hood to me. Protects in all lifetimes. She's white. Her nectar liberates from fears. Left hand in the gesture of the 3 jewels of refuge. And her ring finger and thumb pressing the union of method and wisdom. 3 upright fingers symbolize the 3 jewels, indicating her as a reliable source of refuge. And drawn on her palms are Dharma wheels from which light emanates into all directions and outshines all other light in the universe. So she turns the wheel of the Dharma. Yeah. So the other thing that we're recognizing is that these images are just full of symbolism. And that's the symbolism we want to absorb, really. That, you know, whilst she is protecting us and rescuing us and saving us, we are recognizing how she's doing it. She's doing it because she has unified method and wisdom. She's doing it because she's not in peace or the extreme of being in samsara. So that is what we need to recognize, and that's what all the symbolism is about. That her energy is what we are trying to stimulate in ourselves. So when we say that phrase, when we get to it, we go, oh, I kind of know what that means now. Then we are focusing on manifesting that energy within ourselves. So by saying them quite quickly, I mean, sometimes I won't do it with you guys, and it's more difficult, especially when you're reciting Tibetan, you know, as English-speaking people. But often in the monasteries, they're said very fast, and they just get up this energy, and they can say them, you know, they can go through them 21 times, or 100 or 1,000 times, if they're doing particular pujas over a long time. So she fulfills. Nectar destroys demons, distills the essence of enlightened power. She fulfills the wishes of all who have faith in her. She subdues those who don't have faith, like the worldly gods and demons. And light rays emanate from her crown ornament, and she laughs to Tara because she brings joy and happiness. Yeah. That's enough. Okay, so if you want the short version of that, then you can download it from the website, yeah? But hopefully you'll have some feeling when we're reciting the 21 Taras, why we're doing it, and what we're doing, and how we're doing it, because that's the point of them, really. So what we're going to do now is do Tara Puja. But at this point, if there's any questions, which I may be able to answer, that would be great. Any questions? Are we all okay with that? Do we all kind of get it? Yeah. Good. Okay. Anybody up there in space? You all okay with that? Great. Okay. So I'm going to make you small again. Put you up there. And then go back to the beginning. So we're going to recite this all together, but we'll recite the prayers. Then when it comes to the visualization, I'll lead you. Okay, so don't say that, you just enjoy. And then we go through this 3 times, and I will try to, which is the best way of moving? It's not with that, is it? Maybe it's that. Okay, I'll stay over there. And then we come to do the mantra recitation, which I don't know if you want hymn practice here. But we did 21 mantras, which I recited. I don't think anybody joined in. And then we did a whole round in silence. And we've got an extra few minutes. It would be nice if we do 2 rounds and really dedicate 1 round to the, the incredible, unimaginable suffering that is going on in Turkey and Syria right now. Everything that she mentions, everything that Tara, that is mentioned here, you can imagine over there, or will result in. Think of the disease and the homelessness and the loss and the grief. And I mean, if we can just dedicate 1 round of Tara mantras to that, I think that would be a nice thing to do. Yeah. Okay, so do you want to have him practice can you remember the mantra? Om Tara tu re soha. Om Tara tu re soha. Om Tare tu re soha. Om Tare tu re soha. Great, that's great, lovely. And then when we do this, for instance, in English, it would be homage, crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit, relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection. That's quite simple. Will you be okay with that? Okay, let's do it. Nice, and get some energy going. Let me just check that's working. Yeah, I can do that over there. Sometimes it's better with PDF than PowerPoint. Okay, sip of water. So visualize the objects of refuge. And let's just get into a really positive space to do this puja together. Dedicating it to the people, the beings who are suffering so severely in Syria and Turkey due to the earthquake. Over 12,000 dead and thousands more injured and homes lost, and the place is devastated, and Syria already dealing with war, unimaginable suffering. So we really make prayers a refuge in Tara to speedily come to their rescue in whatever manner is appropriate. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, by my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Just pause after each line of the immeasurables. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. And generate love. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. And compassion. May all sentient beings never be separated from sorrowless bliss. Empathic joy. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, both greed and hatred. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues created by myself and others to the great enlightenment. And do the visualization. You're in your ordinary form. At your heart appears a white arm made of light. This transforms into a white moon disk. At its center appears a green syllable tam, the essence of Tara's blissful, omniscient mind of wisdom and compassion. Standing clockwise around the edge of the moon appear the letters of the mantra, Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Suha, entirely made of green light. From the tam, rainbow-colored light goes out in all directions and invokes Tara to appear in the space in front of you. She's seated on a lotus, a moon disk. Her body is emerald green light, youthful, exquisite, beautiful. Her right hand on her right knee is in the gesture of giving. Her left hand at her heart is in the gesture of refuge, holding the stem of Nupala flower that blooms by her ear. Her left leg is drawn up and her right leg is slightly extended. Her face is very beautiful and she smiles with loving kindness at all sentient beings. Surrounding her in space are 21 other Taras, as well as all the other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Fill the space with Taras, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. And surrounding you are all sentient beings, those you're close to, those who are distant from, those who you don't know, and all those that we dedicate this puja to, all the suffering sentient beings caused by the earthquake. Fill the space. Many of those beings are now in the bardo, completely lost. You lead them in reciting the prayers and requests to Tara. We'll do this in English first. Om, I prostrate to the noble, transcendent liberator. Homage. Sorry, this is what happens. It flicks. I'm so sorry. Homage, Tara, swift, heroic, eyes like lightning, instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of three worlds, tear-born lotus. Homage, she whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent as 1,000-star collection. Homage, golden blue, one lotus, water born in hand adorned, giving effort, calm austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Homage, crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit, relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection. Homage, filling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with her feet the seven worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage, worshipped by the All Lords, Chakra, Agni, Brahma, Marut, honored by the hosts of spirits, corpse raisers, Gandharvas, Yakshas. Homage with her trad and pay sounds, destroying foes' magic diagrams, her feet pressing left out, right in, blazing in a raging fire blaze. Homage to the very dreadful, destroyer of Mara's champions, she with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart, her fingers adorn her with three jewel mudra, light ray masses all excited, all directions wheels adorn her. Homage, she so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's divas. Homage, she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with her sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage, crown adorned with present, moon all ornaments most shining, Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage, she mid wreath ablaze like eon ending fire abiding. Right stretch, left bent, joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage, she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter whom the seven levels she does conquer. Homage, happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana, she endowed with Om and Soha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage, she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder, freeze with Hum and knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to Re with seed letter, of the shape of syllable, whom by foot stamping shakes the three worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya, homage holding in her hand the hair-melt moon of Diva lake form, with twice spoken Tara and Pe, totally dispelling poison. Homage she whom gods and their kings and the Kinnaras do honor, armored in all joyful splendor. She dispels bad dreams and conflicts. Homage she whose two eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with twice Hara and Tutare, she dispels severe contagion. Homage full of liberating power by the set of three natures, destroys hosts of spirits, yakshas, and raise corpses supreme Ture. These praises with the root mantras and prostrations thus are 21 Tibetan. Om Jed Sun Ma Padmadroma Chatselo Chatsel Dromanyuma Pamo Chenike Jiglok Dandrama Jig Ten Sumgun Chuke Jelgi Gesa Jewale Ni Jungma Chatsel Tunke Dawa Kuntu Gangwagyani Tsekpe Jelma Kamaton Trat Sopanam Ki Raptu Chewe Urabama Chatsel Senyo Chunekeki Peme Chagni Nampagyama Jimpat Sundru Katugjiwa Zapa Samtencha Yunima Chatsel Dejin Shekpe Tsukto Tayenam Pagel Wachema Malu Paro Chimpatope Yelwe Seki Shintu Tenma Chatsel Tutara Humige Dang Chok Dang Nam Kagama Jig Ten Dumpo Shapkinente Lupame Paugupanyuma Chatsel Gyajimila Sampa Lunglana So Wanchuchuma Jumporo Landri Sanamdang Nerjin Soki Dunatuma Chatsel Chache Jagdang Peki Paro Tukurap Tu Joma Yekum Yanke Japinente Mebatu Pajin Tu Bama Chatsel Turejik Pachempo Duki Pawonam Pajoma Chuke Jani Turnya Dense Drawo Tamche Malusuma Chatsel Kunchok Sum Song Chagye Soma Tukanam Pagyama Malu Choki Kolo Gempe Rangi Kitsong Nam Trugma Chatsarap Tukawa Jipe Ugen Ki Drengwa Pelma Je Parab Je Tutarayi Dudang Jikten Wan Tutsema Chatsel Saji Kyongwe Sognam Tamche Gukpanyu Manyima Shonye Yuwe Yeke Hungi Pompa Tamche Nampa Drolma Chatsel Dawe Dumbu Ugen Gempa Tamche Shintu Bama Relpe Kune Upagmele Tapa Shintu Urapsema Chatsel Kelpe Tame Meta Bawe Trengwe Unanema Ye Kyang Yong Kun Kunne Koge Drayi Puni Nampa Joma Chatsel Sashi Lachagi Tugi Nun Shik Jabki Dungma Tronye Chense Yige Hungi Ringpa Dumpo Namni Gemma Chatsel Dema Gemma Jima Nyanyenda Shicha Yunima Soha Om Dayang Dandempe Digpa Chimpo Jompanima Chatsel Kunne Korap Gawe Drayeluni nampagamma, Yige chupe nagni kupe, Rikpaham ladron panima, Chadsa zure japti depe, Humnigi sepe sabonima, Rirap mandara dambije, Jikten sumnam yuwanima, Chadselai soyinampe, Rida tanche nagnaganama, Tarani chupe kiyike, Dugna malupani selma, Chadselai sognam gelpo, Ladami amchi etenma, Kune gochagawa jigi, Sodang milam yempe selma, Chatsel ni adawa gepe, Jenny pola urap selma, Harani jotutarayi, Shintu dapurim ne selma, Chatsel den yisumnam gupe, Jiwe tudang yang dagdenma, Dundaro lano jitsognam, Jompature rapchognima, Sawenya kita padidang, Chatselwani nichu sajig. Om I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage Tara, swift heroic, eyes like lightning instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of three worlds, tear-born lotus. Homage she whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent as 1,000-star collection. Homage golden blue one lotus, water-born in hand adorned, giving effort calm austerities, patience meditation her sphere. Homage crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit, relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection. Homage filled with tutare, whom desired direction and space, trampling with her feet the seven worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage worshipped by the All-Lords, Shakra, Agni, Brahma, Marut, honored by the hosts of spirits, corpse raisers, Gandharvas, Yakshas. Homage with her track and pace sounds, destroying foes' magic diagrams, her feet pressing left out right in, blazing in a raging fire blaze. Homage to the very dreadful, destroyer of Mara's champions, she with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart, her fingers adorn her with three jewel mudra, light ray masses all excited, all directions wheels adorn her. Homage see so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's divas. Homage she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with her home sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage crown adorned with crescent moon, all ornaments most shining. Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage she mid wreath ablaze like, eon ending far abiding. Right stretch, left bent, joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter whom the 7 levels she does conquer. Homage, happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana, she endowed with Om and Soha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder, frees with whom and knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to Re with seed letter, of the shape of syllable form, by foot stamping shakes the 3 worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya. Homage holding in her hand the hair-marked moon of Diva lake form, with twice spoken Tara Ampe, totally dispelling poison. Homage she whom gods and their kings and the Kinnaras do honor, armored in all joyful splendor. She dispels bad dreams and conflicts. Homage she whose two eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with twice Hara and two Tara, she dispels severe contagion. Homage full of liberating power by the set of three natures, destroys hosts of spirits, yakshas, and raise corpses supreme ture. These praises with the root mantras and prostrations thus are 21. So I'll lead the visualization and the recitation of the mantra. We can all join in. There's a nice image there that you can use. That's the tam. So you visualize much radiant and blissful green light from the tam and mantra at Tara's heart, streaming into you and into all the sentient beings around you. This light purifies the imprints of all negative actions and dispels all sickness and harms from spirits. In addition, it brings inspiration and blessings from Tara, thus enabling you to realize the entire gradual path to enlightenment quickly. So while we visualize that, we recite the Tara's peaceful mantra. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu so ha. Om Tara so ha. Tara is delighted, and she floats to the crown of your head, dissolves into green light, and absorbs into you. You become the essence of Tara's blissful and omniscient mind of wisdom and compassion. O compassionate and venerable subduing goddess, may the infinite beings, including myself, soon purify the two obscurations and complete both collections, so that we may attain full enlightenment. For all my lives until I reach this stage, may I know the sublime happiness of humans and gods, so that I may become fully omniscient. Please pacify quickly all obstacles, spirits, obstructions, epidemics, diseases, and so forth, the various causes of untimely death, bad dreams and omens, the 8 fears and other afflictions, and make it so that they no longer exist. May the mundane and supramundane collections of all excellent auspicious qualities and happiness increase and develop, and may all wishes be fulfilled naturally and effortlessly without an exception. May I strive to realize and increase the sacred Dharma, accomplishing your stage and beholding your sublime face. May my understanding of emptiness and the precious dedicated heart increase like the moon waxing full. May I be reborn from an extremely beautiful and holy lotus in the joyous and noble mandala of the conqueror. May I attain whatever prophecy I receive in the presence of Amitabha, Buddha of infinite light. O deity, whom I have accomplished from previous lives, the enlightening influence of the 3 times Buddha, blue-green, 1 face and 2 arms, the swift pacifier, O mother holding an Utpala flower, may you be auspicious. Whatever your body, O mother of conquerors, whatever your retinue, lifespan or pure land, whatever your name, most noble and holy, may I and all others attain only these. By the forces of these praises and requests made to you, may all disease, poverty, fighting, and quarrels be calmed. May the precious Dharma and everything auspicious increase throughout the world and direction where I and all others dwell. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the state of Aryatara, that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. By whatever I have collected from venerating these subduing blessed ones, may all sentient beings without exception be born in Sukhavati, the joyful pure land. You who have abandoned all bodily defects and possess the signs and marks of a Buddha, you who have abandoned all defects of speech and possess a beautiful sparrow-like voice, you who have abandoned all defects of mind and see all the infinite objects of knowledge, O brilliant Mother of auspicious glory, please bring your auspicious presence to us. Jang Chuv Sem Chog Rinpoche, Makye Panam Yegyochi, Yawanyam Pamepayang, Gong Ne Gong Dupel Bashuk. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. Kang ri ra we ku we jin kam de pendan de wa malu chu we ne chen re ze huan ten sin yat so hi shape si te badu Tengyu Chi. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chenrezi Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Tony Ningje Sundu Jupelam Cheche Zelze Gangchen Tendrugun Chagna Pemu Tenzin Yatsula Solwa Depso Jedun Lundrup Shug, Savior of the Snowland teachings and transmigratory beings, who makes the path that is unification of emptiness and compassion extremely clear. To the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Tulchu Changxing Jamgang Yewe Ten Singkyo Perwe Kunzu Doputse Josum Kuwe Le Pon Tu Drupa Dak Sol Dulce Gundu Shabten Shuk. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining and preserving and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Let me just come back to ourselves here and say this little prayer, which we've been saying for quite a while. Doesn't normally come at the end, but it's a prayer of blessings where you bring it back to yourself. Pema Chodrons, may I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all sentient beings. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I be at ease. Thank you very much. How was that? How are we getting along with Tara Puja? Yeah, I know many of you have done it before, but is it helping going through it slowly? Some things come up, don't they? You think, oh yes, just, yeah. You could really do, I wonder, Venerable Jundra, if we can somehow, if everybody could have their own image of Tara and the 21 Taras on their phones or here. We haven't got one in the center, have we? Yeah. But if we download it from the store, how do we see it while we're reciting all the mantras? On your phone? Yes. It's drawn by Rinpoche, lovely. Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Okay. I wonder if we can put some advice on the website for anybody, because it will differ each week, won't it? To how that it would be useful if people bought an image of the 21 Taras. Yeah. The images, we can put the 21 Taras up on the website. You can, yeah. Well, if it's Rinpoche's one or Andy's, because Andy's is the one that we're using here. Yeah. Then I mean, you know, they're the same, but they're different. but they won't alter because, you know, it's not artistic preference. They are all specifically where they're meant to be in those colors and with those mudras. So that's how we visualize them and work with them. Okay. Well, I enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good. Yeah, it was lovely. We're starting to, and I went very slowly with the Tibetan, and you know that there's like, in German, it's like an umlaut, isn't it? And you have, and then it goes, instead of two, it's tur. Yeah, so we use that sound. Other than that, it's quite straightforward. I've got them up here now. I have got them up there. Jayla, does anybody have anything to say or any questions? Is everybody happy? Is it working for you? Yeah, thumbs up. Great. You can unmute yourself and speak. And that worked well, Michael, putting up those documents. Yeah, that was good. So thank you very much for attending, all of you up there. And hopefully see you next week, because we're building each week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Not you. Them. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going off Zoom now, is that right? Yes.